SunEdison, the world's largest renewable energy company, is seeking to sell unfinished projects to fend off bankruptcy. That's according to people familiar with the matter. And Southern Company may be buying.
Joining us now from the Bloomberg New Energy Finance Annual Summit in New York is the CEO of Southern Company, Tom Fanning. Tom, why has Southern gotten into renewables in a big way recently?
Well, it's been kind of a long-term strategy of ours. When people say all the above from an energy policy standpoint, Southern Company is the one company in America that does it all. We're leading the renaissance of nuclear. We've built our own coal technology that's cleaner than natural gas. Big investments in natural gas, energy efficiency. Renewables happen to be a dominant solution in this nation's carbon-reduced energy future. And so particularly, since I've taken the helm here at Southern, we've been big bullish on solar, and just now we're starting to get into wind.
When you look at the utility space, and maybe we can use your company as a model there, using all these varieties of energy, do you think that's where things are headed? Do you see more mergers and acquisitions in this space, consolidating some of the players who aren't involved in as many sectors?
Well, sure, I think that's right. Our industry lends itself to scale. And so if you're going to make these bets along the energy production chain, nuclear, coal, gas, renewables, energy efficiency, I think it takes scale to be able to make a real difference in this nation's energy future. And so I think that's really important. You know, Southern Company is one of the largest utilities in America. And so we have the ability to make big things happen quickly.
A lot of big investors, particularly hedge funds, invested pretty heavily in SunEdison. And now that SunEdison may be facing bankruptcy, it could potentially dampen, do you think, the potential interest by big investors in investing in renewable energy, no?
Well, certainly I wouldn't comment on any particular deal. What's fascinating to me is, unlike a lot of people that play in this space, Southern Company is conservative in our approach. I'm a former CFO, part of my career anyway. And one of the things I like to say about finance is, in the world of finance, there are lots of tricks, but there is no magic. We employ capital in a very simple, straightforward way. We use balance sheet financing, long-term capital, credit-worthy counterparties. And so we try not to leverage or otherwise complicate our ability to raise capital. If you look at yieldcos, MLPs, and perhaps some of the things that SunEdison is dealing with, this complexity is proving to be troublesome in a volatile financial market. We'll stick by our guns and do what we do, and if opportunities arise, however they arise, we'll certainly keep our eyes open.
Stick by your guns. You know, you've been investing in nuclear power here at a time, or after a time when a lot of people weren't doing that. What do you see as the future for nuclear power here in the U.S.?
If you believe there is at all a reduced carbon future in energy production in America, nuclear must in fact be a dominant solution. Now, we are clearly leading the renaissance of nuclear in America. In fact, our Plant Vogtle Units 3 and 4 are going along beautifully. In fact, when that plant was originally ordered by the Georgia Public Service Commission, we thought the price increase borne by customers would be around 12%. Now, even with 2 schedule changes and the associated costs, we think that plant is going to be delivered at a price increase, not 12, but about 6.5%. So in fact, price to customer has actually come down. And we believe it is a dynamite technology. A lot of the technology advances that we're going to see in the Westinghouse AP1000 technology that we're using would have obviated a lot of the problems that occurred in Fukushima. And it goes without saying that we're not in a flood kind of prone zone, and we're not in a seismic sensitive area. We think this is going to be, when you look back on it, one of the greatest mega projects in modern American industrial history. And if we're going to go forward, we need more people to jump in.
In the past 18 months, Southern has been incredibly active, possibly one of the most active purchasers of wind and solar utilities in the U.S. What happened in the past year and a half to make you think now is a good time?
Well, I think it really is just a matter of momentum. From the time I took this seat, now over 5 years ago, I very quickly said that in the renewables space, which we believe is also one of the dominant solutions in our nation's energy future, that solar was the way to go. I've never seen the great association with wind in the Southeast. We just don't have the climate that supports it. And so if we're going to have wind move into the Southeast, it's going to rely on high transmission requirements, which is really not optimal electricity design. So as we have moved through time, we found more and more the advancement of better production capability by companies that we so admire, like First Solar, that have been able to take the production cost curve down, translation efficiency up, and therefore, I think more and more we're seeing solar become an important part of the energy portfolio. That's why. It's really just a matter of momentum. Of course, tax law has helped to drive some of that, and we think it'll continue through the rest of this decade now.
Great. Thank you so much. Great stuff. Tom Fanning, Chairman and CEO of the Southern Company.